my name is Victor Ategwu. I'm the Prince of Omong in Ukpada, Otugwang, precisely in Obudu local government area of Cross River State. Ukpada, it's where we come from. And Ukpada comprises of about 4 clans. I'm talking about Omong itself, Eshankbe, Ubadum, and Eje Nyambe. But Omong is the cradle. Talk about the founder of the present-day Ukpada in Otugwang. Particularly, Otugwang is made up of 7 clans. That is the 7 villages or communities, as the case may be, which is Ukpada itself, the present the Otugwang South in Obudu local government area of Cross River State, because Otugwang its own has about 3 wards: Otugwang South, Otugwang Central, and Otugwang North. Now, the culture and the tradition of the Ukpada people is not different from that of the Otugwang people. I would say we are the autonomous people or the indigenous people of Otugwang. So we are from one ancestry. We are of the Bantus tribe. The Bantus, we stretch up to South Africa. Historically, we are from South Africa. Our great-grandparents, talking about 4 or 5 generations back or centuries ago, found their way from South Africa when they were searching for livelihoods and finally settled at the present place where we are today, called Ukpada in Otugwang. We have the same lifestyle like the Bantus. Our dressing, our feeding, and marriage system, our customs, and everything are not different from the Bantus people. They call us Ejagan, that is a Khoi people of Northern Cross River. So we share the same tradition, the same food, the same way of dressing and everything. Even our monarchical system. When it comes to marriage, when it comes to farming, when it comes to even leadership structure, we have the same value system. Interestingly, there is a little deviation in our present-day context, or let me say contemporary society, which sprang up in the 21st century. I am not a son of a paramount ruler or a village head, but I am the 5th, maybe say, to be or heir apparent or prince of the indigenous people, the original kingdom of Omong. Omong is the name of my great-grandparents about 6-7 generations ago, centuries ago, that founded this particular place, Ukpada, when him in the company of his brothers were looking for a source of light, and they established this particular place, this kingdom today. So the son, Otiribi, who happens to be the first king, the monarch, they were called Tikpa. Like if you go to Ife, we talk about Oni of Ife. We go to Benin, we talk about of Benin. He became the Ukpada, that is the king, that's of Leopold's king. A king, there is this bit that wears on him that makes him immortal. Even if he's dead today and burnt or cremated according to our tradition, it's assumed that he lives on. And then when he died, the son Ejibenine took over and handed over to the son Adigebe, who died in 1992. That was my great-grandfather gave birth to our Pam. And then our kingship is by succession via the first son or the first grandson or the first great-grandson. So it is not transferred, half of the family. Typically, the Omong people are called kingmaker because him and his brothers settled. And they are called kingmakers because it's like the values they have, they were born peacemakers. And they have been able to practicalize this over the years, even up to this present day. So after the death of my grandfather in 1992, in which I witnessed, I was very, very tender then. He was burnt, cremated. The ashes were put in the pot according to our tradition and kept in the black box inside the room. Up till now, we are yet to do the obsequies, which is yet to be done, but the process is on by this July, because he was buried he was burnt in July. So we are expecting that by this July. I have even sent a letter to everybody, to the various chiefs, including the state government, are aware of all of this. I published it on in the media and whatsoever. So by this coming July, we are expected to start the royal obsequies. So traditionally, I am the first great-grandson, the fifth to the throne of Utiribi in Otugwa. So that is what bestows on me the priesthood of Otugwa, particularly Umon Kingdom. My dad is the fourth. His own father, who happens to be my grandfather that ran away, that abandoned the throne and ran to the wife's place, is the third. The Adigebe Jibenine is the second. Then the father, Ejibenine, the first after Utiribi. I fall into the conviction that leaders are born, because leaders are not made, because we have had leaders who are administrators. There is this misconception about leadership. People think that because you are given a role or an office to be there, and maybe you deploy some strategies, or you follow some certain rules to administer some administrative functions, makes you a leader. No, somebody can give you a document to follow principles, understand, and devise some functions, dedicate some responsibilities. But that doesn't make you a leader. You're only an administrator. A leader is somebody who, even with knowledge or no knowledge, no formal or no formal knowledge, has that inborn wisdom to carry out that leadership dispositions wherever he or she finds themselves. Having voluntarily retired from the services of the Nigerian Navy in October 30th, 2019, I came into the state and I ventured into the Cross River State politics. I'm going to give you guys a practical example coming from a philosophical perspective now. We've had uninterrupted about 24 to 25 years of democratic rule in my state and my community. But as I speak to you, there is no single presence of government functions. We've had people who have even climbed to the ladder of being ministers in the ministerial position from that community, but we don't have one good road, no river, nothing to talk about, not even good culvert, understand. People are not being empowered. It shows that, yes, leaders are not made. Leaders are not made, but leaders are born. But my persistent or continuous effort to seeing that, yes, I bring development to the community through my mean resources. Even though it has been faced with a lot of challenges, I have not given up, and I'm not giving up. But I'm trying to ensure that, yes, I still represent the people in the best capacity that I was born to do. But I see how I can draw development to the community. That is what leadership entails for the people. Resource-wise or financially, I have not been that empowered. Because since I left the Navy as a petty officer in the building department. Now, I have not had any appointment or ventured into business that I will amass such wealth to see that, okay, I can give my people the life that is desirable of them. Number one, we have had bridges and roads that have been left, like even the ones that are even abandoned for the past 20 years, the Ukpada bridge, understand? They have intentionally left those bridges like that. Like this coming July, August or September, where there will be very heavy rainfall, you will discover that there will be flood in my community, such that it will cause 7 days of rain, and people will not be able to have access to their farms. That particular flood is going to come. It has been. Take a lot of lives and properties, destroy so many houses and all of that. And there are politicians. Otugwa has 3 wards. We have senators in Northern Cross River. We have a member Federal House of Representatives. We even have ministers who once came from this community. We have governors from there. But the impacts are not felt there. But through my voicing, I have been voicing out both on social media, in community engagement, to see that, yes, I can draw these people to the grassroots, to see that, yes, my people can have better lives. Personally, as I speak to you, as at last on the 31st of May, that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in the community to see how we can have a documentary of our own history, where we came from, because I found out that Africa, especially Nigeria, we have lost our history, and we have no record to beckon on or fall back to. What all the books we've been reading in school, history books and whatsoever, were all written by foreign authors. There is no one that was written by the people of my community. And I came up with this book titled Ukpada, An Unconquered Monarchy. In this book, I was able to tell the story of how my great-grandparents were able to repel the invasion of the Europeans. And that is the most reason why we remain who we are today. And the book, it's all about how we won by conquest. So these are the little things I've been doing to see how my people, the voice of my people can be heard. The story of my people can be heard. Our history can be heard. Our cultural values can be heard. And whatsoever thing that is desirable of us can also be heard. The needs of the people can be heard. Academically, our people are backward. Empowerment-wise, they are backward. And there is nobody there to see how they can channel a means to see that, okay, they can listen to these people and give to them what they deserve. So through my constant advocacy, I strongly believe that a day will come that their voices will be heard through me. But my dad is an academician. My dad is a commercial teacher. He's a chartered administrator, an international marketer. He got his PhD in 1989 when he was working with the Mercantile Bank, from Mercantile Bank to Nikon Insurance before he became an insurance marketing manager with the NNPC. So he was not that stable prior to my birth, understand. Then let me say there was no customary or traditional or formal marriage between my dad and my mom. So when I was born, I was always with my grandmother. My grandmother happens to be one of the staff of one of the palm oil estate in Boki. So I grew up in Forum, that is in Borum, in Boboki. So in 1989 to 1990, the Bendi people of today's Obanliko local government and Eastern Boki had a duel. They had a fight, and that war led to my mother, my grandmother, bringing us back to Otugu, and specifically in the local government, where I did my primary and some part of secondary school. When I got to XS1 in Ukpada Community Secondary School, I sat for the common entrance to Federal Science College in Abuja, and I was the second best from Cross River State. So because of my performances in my junior YA, where I had about 6 A's, I'm talking about alphas, and about 6 B3, 6 C3, 6 for something like, if I can remember. I was given that opportunity to sit for the exam. And having passed the common entrance as the second best from Cross River State, I was given admission at Federal Science College. So I left to Federal Science College. I finished from Federal Science College in 2003. Thereafter, I came to Abuja, and I've never been home since then. So I grew up very sparingly, so I wasn't just settled in one particular geographical place. Presently, I just finished my PhD in advertising and public relations. I'm talking about my coursework, and already I'm into my seminars and dissertations, which I've even submitted my proposals for assessment. So I see it as there is no much difference. The difference is just that it's all about the documentation. Why we don't document as what we adopted from the Europeans or the Americans, they are documented. So we are seeing theirs as being superior. I have seen everything that I have studied up to my PhD and my traditional systems. There is no difference. We even have superior training and educative principles other than what we are having from them. What we are having from them is just like a borrowed idea system. Like maybe you go to a place where there is no rain and you borrow their principles, understand, to come and establish or practicalize it in a place that's that has much of rainfall, or is in the rain belt or rainfall for forest zone. You see that there are two things here, understand. So there is no conformity. So I strongly believe that the orthodox or the formal knowledge system and the traditional system, balancing them is just like you learn from here to equip this side, like an imported technology. The only thing that is lacking in the traditional system is the information age that we are having now. And the information age, which is the ICT, is only to upgrade and to ease the way of doing things in the traditional system. So I have a very balanced system, and I strongly believe that, yes, I don't have any problem with that. After the death and cremation of my late grandfather in 1992, we have not carried out obsequies because of some few challenges in the house. And this is due to the interference with the Christian religion, or what I call it, Christian doctrine or Christianity, where our people now believe that yes, Christianity has come to profess solutions to our problems. People claiming that the traditional system is backward, is laggard, is archaic, and is mundane. But they don't understand that tradition is the way we do things. Just like culture is our way of life. Christianity is a culture, it's a tradition of a people. Likewise, our own tradition or whatsoever. If we abandon our tradition and embrace Christianity, we are automatically abandoning our own customs and traditions or our culture. So there are two things here. I have been having so many challenges. One of the challenges is that when Christianity came into place, my grandfather fled with the fear, because he was advised that yes, if he should take over his father's kingship, that his children will be killed. And so because he had good children, very intelligent children, my dad was an example. So that the son, who is this, who is that, they will use the son for sacrifice. Because of that fear now, he fled and he abandoned the throne. And that was that's what led to the problem the present state was having now. When the British came, and it happens to be a council stuff, they felt that yes, they should install council chiefs, bringing people who are not original heirs to any of the throne or any of the stool in my community to head the people. And those people start bringing in their cronies. And these are the same people who have been going through different angles to fight me, to bring me down. I have passed through many phases. Even politically, the challenges I've been having in the state, I have been kidnapped. In 2023, that was specifically February 3rd, I, in the company of Dr. Usani, the former minister of the Niger Delta, were kidnapped at a gunpoint. Over 100 bullets were shot at our car. And I think about 3 lives we lost. We missed a particular Inyang Ayang, one man from Ezeitung Abikom, in action, and up to today we've not heard from him. I was kidnapped. I was among the 3 persons that were taken on hostage. And I would spend almost about 6-7 hours with the kidnappers in their camp. And we released, that was a meet about 12 o'clock in the night to go back to where we're coming from. And also, I think of recent again, a vehicle where I was parked at the checkpoint, another vehicle came from somewhere and almost claimed almost about 9 lives. I was the only person that survived, among other challenges. Is it back home where they go about burying charms on my land, doing certain things that if I should get home? I was attacked in my community where I was carrying an election campaign on election day. And that was in 2020. I was seriously attacked. My men were attacked. This was a physical confrontation. And the people orchestrating this are the same people who have been trying by all means to eliminate me and my dad to ensure that they remain relevant in the community. Last year, I sent a letter across board to inform the general public, my kinsmen, my kindred, of the royal obsequies, which starts by cleansing. I have done the first cleansing, I've done the second cleansing. The third one is scheduled to take place this Saturday. Or if there is anything that will stop it, to be next Saturday, so that by July 12th, the proper royal obsequies will commence. And I have not let that lie. We have norms and leadership principles, and these principles are enshrined in our customs and traditions. They are not different from what we practice and what we believe. We follow what has been laid down and handed over to us by our forefathers. Like where I come from, I don't need to tell anybody. I don't sleep with somebody's wife. It's a taboo. It's an abomination. Explicit out of it. As a prince, I don't sleep with a woman who is menstruating. I don't take food or eat from a woman who is menstruating. Our wives don't even, as a married man or as a married woman, she is not expected to collect money from any man out there, either knowingly or unknowingly, and bring that money to the house or buy food and prepare something for the husband to eat. Talk more of sleeping with a man outside. If she does and the man knows and the man refuses to speak out, he begins to have stroke or he ends up dying. So what I'm trying to do now is to see how I maintain the customs and tradition of our people, to follow the footsteps, to follow the laid down principles, to do things the way they are, because these were the things, and these are still the things that fosters peace in unity, and that makes us who we are up to this moment. I have been on the side of peace because what even conferred on me and my great-grandparents or my predecessors, the leadership that they had before and we have up to this, or that made our dynasty to remain unconquered, is the peace that we have been able to administer. It transcends. It didn't start with me. It started from time. We are people of peace. I have mediated in so many occasions. I've mediated during so many crises, and I have always been on the side of peace. But one thing I don't take is to bend societal issues. I call it a spade, and I like making or ensuring that the records are kept straight. Like now, I don't like taking from Mr. P and give to Mr. E, who doesn't deserve it. So that has been my position in the community. The issue of Benue State, as I earlier said before, is the issue of negligence. The security of lives and properties of every state is vested on the governor of the state, who is the chief security officer of that state. Now, being the Prince of Umon, we have our own local vigilantes who don't go to bed to sleep. And we also have traditional means that we use in checkmating criminality and situations like that in my community. This is not just a hearsay or words. It is what has been put into practice. And that was what has kept us even unconquered, even when the British tried to invade our community. We don't just talk. We don't even talk, but we act. And I also ensure that I encourage my people, I motivate them, I do the right thing, and I train them. Because if you take a look at what is happening in Israel today between Israel and Palestinians, invariably 80% of Israelites are all soldiers. When you empower your people, it's not just maybe giving them money, giving them jobs. You also give them that human resource training. Train them military-wise, train them in defense, train them to be self-sufficient, train them in the times of war to stand the pressure, never to lock down. And also, most importantly, we shouldn't be giving positions to people because they are our cronies. We shouldn't be giving power to people because they are in our political party. We shouldn't be giving power to people because they are our associates. We shouldn't be giving power to people because they are our relatives or because we like them. Whenever we fall short of those things and we start playing politics with things that matters in the society, what happened in Benue State will just be like a playing field. So we should ensure that we prioritize competence over mediocrity. And that is what I do in my community. I don't joke with competence. If you are qualified for this, I ensure that it goes to you. So Nigeria as a whole, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should ensure that, yes, this should come to play. We shouldn't play lives or play politics with people's lives. When I see things that are becoming inimical or they stand as dangers to my community, I speak against them. So people know me for being somebody that stood for them in times like this. Then also people know me for a prince whose aim is not, whose interest is not personal, it's not for himself, but it's for the entire community. Like the projects I'm advocating in the community, the establishment of 200 sitting artistic capacity center in Otuba. It's not for me. It's for the entire people of Otuba. The Women Empowerment Center, the youth programs I'm trying to project in the community, it's not for myself, it's for the people of Otuba. Outside myself, my younger brother, and we are just two. So there's nobody else there. What they be benefiting? So what I'm fighting for my community is not for my family, it's for the entire people of Otuba. So people will know me for somebody who stands for the people. I see myself in 10 years' time like as somebody who must have established institutions that will spring development in my community. If not for anything, the ICT mall should have been built by then, and I should be seeing the people of my community enjoy the benefits of that establishment. I will see myself as somebody in the next 10 years who come from a community where there is good roads, constant light, power supply. We have pipe and water in every house. I see myself in that 10 years to having people, to must have developed people, at least 500 to 1,000 people, that they can confidently in their account have at least 10, 15 million in their account. And they can come back home and celebrate festivities like New Year festivals, Christmas, New Year, and the rest. Tomorrow will be greater. And with cooperation, love, and unity, nobody can defeat us. And our aims will be achieved.